If I can be Jay Ward for a second,
Do your thing.
what Frank has shared with us shows that he was determined to put in the work. So regardless of what obstacles you may face, like it's still about the work. There's no shortcuts.
Let's go, Jamal. Let's go. That's right.
Did I do okay? Did I do okay being Jay Ward?
I would have ended like, fuck Bell's Palsy.
Oh, I forgot. Yo, what up? What up? What up? Welcome back to another episode of the Hold Up Podcast. It's your boy Mal P in the building, holding it down for the 2025 season. season of Thanksgiving.
You're on a
DJ Clue.
I was about to say, keep going, bro. You're on a roll. You're hot right now. Let's go.
What up, Ward? What up,
What's
Ward?
up? What's up, Jamal? Life story event update happening for y'all. So I went today to a swearing-in ceremony for the new county manager. I have to say it was the most lit swearing-in ceremony I've ever been to, but I've only been to one, which is this one. But it got me thinking about two things. It got me thinking about the way that we subvert time and what that means, right? So there was a pastor who did an invocation at the beginning, and he was given a prayer. And during this prayer, like a few minutes in, he was like, "Now you know, Lord, I could talk to you all day."
And then someone in the back say, "Don't."
I feel like there's this like universal black thing that was happening in the room when he did that. And then at the end of it, so it was supposed to go from 11 to 11:30 and then like drinks out in the lobby or whatever, right? So the new county manager, Mike Bryant, shout out Mike Bryant, his remarks to me, so his remarks were going to conclude at 11:30. He got on at 11:25 to give his remarks. So, he's about, I don't know, 6-7 minutes in, and he says, "Now, before I give my remarks,"
Before?
and he really got me thinking about like time subversion. And I would love to do that at a poetry feature, to like 15 minutes in be like, "All right, now before I start my feature," not even to see what the crowd does. I want to see what the host does.
Oh my gosh.
Like what the venue manager does.
That'd be hilarious. You know, poets do that. They come in there and do their poem. All right, y'all. My name is Blues. You're like, bro, you started 30 minutes ago,
Right,
But
right.
then be like, yeah, no, this is the feature, not that other shit. That's crazy.
But what's up, Blues?
What's happening? Hey, y'all. You already know what it is. Your boy Blues right here on the Pulled Up Podcast. We be drinking. And of course, we always have a wonderful guest, an amazing guest. And today's guest is the one, the only, Mr. Frank Expression.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on? Glad to be here.
Good. So before we jump all the way into our time with Frank, we got to talk about what's on the table. Boom. So what we got, of course, for those of you who know us, we have an array of whiskeys and whatnot, but I feel like today's the day that we have arrived or got back to our roots, because Uncle Nearest is on the table.
Let's go.
Hey.
And then of course we got some Crown Royal. I feel like we're having two sophisticated and
Very
yet
sophisticated.
sort of like ratchet black drinks on the table.
Definitely.
We've got your Uncle Nearest, you know what I'm saying? Got that. And then we got Crown Royal. son.
Balance.
There is balance. And it's not just like Crown Royal. It is Crown Royal Blackberry. So Jamal, tell us a little bit about the Uncle Nearest brand in a quick.
No.
All right, fine. You know Uncle Nearest. It was the black dude who taught what's the dude?
Jack
Daniels.
Daniels.
Say that nigga's name. Jack Daniels had to make stuff, all right? And then, of course, we always ask our guests what they would like to drink. And Frank brought us Crown Royal, not just Crown Royal, but Blackberry. Frank, this feels like it should go in what I've heard should be a grape soda. Frank, why Crown Royal Blackberry?
I wanted to try it. First of all, I saw it in the store. I was like, oh man, I got to get that. But my hands are already full.
So you're already like, I ain't got a lot going on. Ooh, Blackberry Crown Royal.
That's exactly what it was. So, but yeah, here we are today. I think later I would love to mix that with some ginger ale, and that'd be actually some grape soda.
I love it. And Ward, you had an important question.
All right, yeah, we were talking beforehand, and the question was, because obviously, Frank, you are a connoisseur of all things Crown Royal. What is the best Crown Royal flavor that you've had, and what is the worst Crown Royal flavor you've had?
Starting off with the worst. Just not my favorite. I love vanilla scented candles, but vanilla flavored Crown Royal was just like,
It
it
didn't
was just
work.
okay. It's like, okay, I could use this in like a lotion, but it's cool. But now the best is no, it has to be Crown Black. Crown Black was so good. I wrote a poem about it.
Damn.
Right. Doing just a whole Black Lives Matter COVID situation. It was like, oh, Crown Black in my black tea. This virus is driving me crazy, something like that. And like it was like a double entendre with a Crown Black. Like actually have a crown of Crown Black in my black tea. I had to
Well
mix it with my
played.
like
With your black tea. Well played,
really
sir.
good.
I'm learning so much about Frank
Yeah.
because we were talking beforehand. Like I didn't know that Frank drank. I didn't know that Frank used profanity. Like I'm learning all these things, but I'm also learning. Here's my first heads up. I texted Frank to ask him about on the show we drink, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to pressure Frank. So I texted him back and said, I mean, do you drink? Because we could just have water and juice. And his response back was the text equivalent of, huh. The text equivalent of, nigga, do you know what I do every weekend?
Well, I mean, Jay Ward, welcome to meeting Jay Ward. Because a lot of us were like, well, Jay don't look like he drink or cuss. He look like he keep a Bible on him. Like, and then we found out
that Jay Ward likes Hennessy.
Yeah, Jay Ward has a whole whiskey ass from Yellowstone. We'll get into that.
Yeah. What's your worst?
My worst Crown flavor that I hate is the mesquite.
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Why?
Ooh.
Why?
You like it?
No. Why would Crown Royal make a mesquite?
Exactly. It tastes like wood.
It tastes exactly like mesquite.
They're like,
it's so bad.
They're like, yo, we're gonna stop trying. Just throw wood chunks in it.
Basically.
However, if you do smoke it, it tastes a little bit better.
Like a smoke.
He's like amateurs.
No. So my in-laws got me like a smoker kit. And so I've tried like the oat, the mesquite, there's a cherry, and it's just been really good. Like really adds flavor. I've been enjoying it. So
okay.
Yeah.
What kind of Crown Royal drink would you smoke? Because like I've heard of a smoked old fashioned. So like
you can smoke anything. First of all, I've smoked a whiskey sour. I've smoked a New York sour. That's probably my favorite sour. Which one? Oh, a Gold Rush is great to be smoked. Yeah, those probably my top ones.
Okay.
I will say this is the first time we've talked about smoking drinks on the show.
Yeah.
Man. I feel like we've leveled up a little bit.
Yeah.
Dear alcohol sponsors, we smoke now.
we smoke now.
It's the missing piece.
All right, so learning all these things about Frank that are not poetry, which I love. You're a whiskey drinker, whiskey smoker, but let's rewind it all the way back to young Frank. Young Frank, and I don't know where are you from?
I'm from Baltimore.
Baltimore. Say it correctly, y'all. Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Not Baltimore. Baltimore.
Do white people say it like that in Baltimore?
It depends what type of white person you come in contact with.
Oh, okay. So if they grew up in the hood, then probably.
Maybe.
Okay. Follow-up question. Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Would he pronounce it Baltimore?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Man, you know Edgar Allan Poe was a down-ass nigga, man. Who dies on a park bench, cuz? Come on, cuz. You didn't die in my home. I'm outside, cuz. I'm about to die out here in these streets. All right, so it's young Frank in Baltimore. And when do you discover you like writing? Or did you what were you into when you were younger?
Oh, man. So I've been playing trumpet since 2004.
Okay.
My father played the trumpet. Played all throughout high school and college. I didn't start writing till 2019. Graduated from A&T 2017, moved back home, looking for friends, looking for stuff to do. Go ahead.
You said all that, and I forgot that you were a child. Because you said 2004. I'm like, man, you was a grown ass adult.
Like 2004.
Nah, nigga, you just old. All right, so bet that. So you're young, you're getting into trumpet because your father played. Was your father like in a jazz band? Like what was?
No, he just played through college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, he was a DJ for the rest of his life. So yeah.
Oh, word.
Go
So
DJ.
music's always been there.
Right.
So looking for stuff to do. Found a friend of mine doing a open mic. His name is Tice. So he still does open mics and everything now. Shout out to Hey Tice in Baltimore. But I was looking, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's pretty like something I like to go to. So I went to a couple more open mics, got to know a couple more people. It was like, hold up, I think I can do this spoken word thing. And so I started taking courses with the Truth to Poet, Keisha Lioness, Black Chakra, which you guys know. And I was like, man, I think I'm pretty good at this. And I took a whole probably year, 2 years off of trumpet, and I developed this thing. Now we're getting to a whole story. I developed this thing called Bell palsy, and half my face went numb.
Oh wow.
And so I couldn't properly pronounce words, and I couldn't play trumpet.
Oh,
and so
man.
that was a huge struggle. Like as soon as I started, like,
And you
doing
had a
those-
Baltimore accent?
Damn.
It's like, right, pick a struggle. But yeah, so I had to retrain my face how to like smile and a whole bunch of things.
Wow.
I had to really teach myself how to play trumpet. Like I was trash again for a really long time. But yeah, it took a while, but writing got better, trumpet play got better, combined the two, and yeah, here I am.
And I wanna say something to that, but do you remember what your first poem was about?
It was a chair. It was a writer's workshop by the Truth to Poet. She said, oh, write from the perspective of just some inanimate object. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick a chair. And so I wrote from the perspective of a chair being sat on all day or having to stand up as a chair just for like a long period of time, pretty much your whole life. That was the first poem was about. Now my spoken word, that was a little different. My actual performance piece was like having sex and like painting. Like
There it
I
is.
started off doing erotic
is.
poem first, but then I developed as just a writer as a person. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna write about other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been pretty consistent on if it wasn't like this traumatic thing, then it was definitely about like
Oh yeah.
some girl or some sort of girl or some situation about a girl. So if we rewind back to the Bell's palsy and having to relearn everything, I feel like as poets, like we all have sort of this pinnacle moment where we're struggling through something that gets us through. Have you ever included that part of your life into your poetry?
Oh yeah. I have a whole section of a longer poem. What's his name? Michael Garcia. Was around here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
He booked me for a show at the Harvard Began Center. He was like, hey, I want you to just write your story. So I wrote about my experience with my father, how he passed away pretty much right after the whole learning that I played trumpet. Going throughout A&T, learn how to write. The Bell's palsy situation is like a 5-minute poem, but like it encompasses like a lot of my story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to Mike Garcia. That guy can bring a lot out of people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wait, not to belabor the point. Big word blues.
I mean, we got Jay Ward in here. Jay Ward, is that big word? That counts? Oh, shit. Okay, go ahead.
So your dad passed before you went to college or after?
Yeah, he passed in 04. I was in the 4th grade.
Oh man,
That's crazy.
that sucks.
That
Thank you
does
for
suck.
sharing that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I still have to process the fact that people
I
were
know.
young people in 04. Not
Yeah,
everybody
like-
was a damn adult
like,
in 04, bro.
I'm sitting here thinking about me in 04 and I'm about to graduate college. So
That's crazy. So that's I would say that's a traumatic period, of course, right? And you get through the Bell's palsy, you learn how to play trumpet again. Is that a self-taught thing, or did you like go to physical therapy? Like, how do you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's in you, right? Because you've been playing, but how do you push yourself? Because I'd imagine it takes a certain amount of discipline to not get frustrated and be like, "Fuck it, I can't do this because my whole face is messed up." Like, you get frustrated. Like, I had to go through my Achilles, and I was supposed to go to physical therapy. I went once, and I was like, "Fuck this." You know, I wanted to do it on my own, but I was also very frustrated because I know what it was to move the way I wanted to move, and I wasn't doing it. And I was just like, I got in my head really fast. How did you push through that?
Oh man. Really I think it was just writing and wanting to perform. And I have felt like I was so great at playing trumpet, like first chair, section leader, the whole
Come on
nine.
now, Frank. First chair. That's a flex section leader. I mean, I know I do a little something.
My bad.
My wife, there you go. Yeah. Like my wife played the flute, and like she was also first chair, so that's how I. I had to make sure like I was like up to par.
Yeah, you had to make sure you see me over here in this first chair, babe. What's happening?
Not drumline.
Not drumline.
But yeah,
I'm sorry.
High note, screaming, everything. Like I felt like I was so great. It's like, man, I have to get back to that pinnacle of like who I was. You feel me? So that was my motivation, like to keep playing trumpet, at least to reteach myself. And like it was a lot of like facial exercises, so not exactly physical therapy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, do I want to push my face this way, that way? You know, blinking was real tough for a while, and like I was wearing contacts, and it was a whole thing.
I think the things we don't consider when things like that happen. I didn't even think about blinking. Like face is a face.
Right.
It's crazy.
So, in like from the time of your diagnosis until you got back to not even to where you felt like you should be, from the time that you got back to even being able to blow into a trumpet again, like how long is that time period?
I was like 4 months. Yeah.
So would you say that like determination was a fact, like you were determined to be able to do this thing again?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because I was still playing like a beginner trumpet because I didn't have the trumpet from school. So I had plans on buying a new trumpet. Like I had plans and I really wanted to get to that, but I'm not going to let something that could be temporary, not temporary for everybody, but could be temporary. I didn't want that to be permanent for me.
Did that start? Did your like rehabilitation start? Because my understanding of Bell's palsy is that we don't really understand why it happens, and also it releases on its own.
Yeah.
And it might be a month, it might be a year, like you just don't know. So did that rehabilitation start before it actually released, or did it start after the Bell's palsy released?
Before it actually released. Yeah.
Do you think that rehabilitation actually helped it to release earlier?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I was on a lot of stress at work. I would think sort of like a year into being like a full-blown engineer. And so like there's somebody that was like above me that went on like a long vacation. I got all their work. It's like, oh man, I got all this responsibility now. How am I supposed to deal with it? And then the Bell's palsy supposedly just set in right after that. And so that was just a lot to deal with at the same time.
Yeah. Are you saying that you think the stress could have caused the Bell's palsy?
Yeah, definitely.
That sucks.
About to say, we are not a medical podcast. We're not going to sit here and tell you some shit we don't know about because we are clearly drinking as we do it.
But I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If I can be Jay Ward for a second.
Do your thing.
And so like ranking this podcast, we typically like to give creatives like gems that they can like take and apply to their own. And I think one is determination. Like if you want to be good at your craft, whatever that craft may be, whether it's poetry, right, whatever it is, determination is a factor that will make you level up, and if you don't put in the work.
Right.
And I think what Frank has shared with us shows that he was determined to put in the work. So regardless of what obstacles you may face, like it's still about the work. There's no shortcut.
Let's go, Jamal. Let's go. That's right.
Did I do okay? Again, Jay Ward?
I would have ended like, fuck Bell's palsy. I want to switch gears just a little bit, if that's okay with y'all. Let's go back to this first chair flute player. Is this the person that you would marry?
That is the person that I
Okay, so how did the flirt game go? Like, what is Frank's approach to getting, first chair flute? What's your wife's name? Kayla. I like first chair flute. How you get first chair flute? Because like, how you do that? Like, what's the approach?
Man, nah. See, now here's where the trouble comes in.
Because you're gonna tell her one way, and she's gonna be like, that's not what happened.
I'll probably give a lot of detail, at least because there's a lot of, that I know that she may not realize was going on at the same time. Because while I was in pursuit, I did have another girlfriend at the time.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Wait,
Hold on. Let me pass that Uncle Narrative. This shit just got spicy. All right.
wait. So we're talking North Carolina A&T,
Yes.
like what, like 2015?
Come on, man. Don't do that. Just let him tell the story.
Okay, my bad.
Because now
Okay,
she gonna go back and then be like, all right, I know exactly who this bitch is.
okay, my bad.
It's 2014. Yeah, 2014.
I was still attending GHO at that point in my life. But okay, keep going.
Before was definitely a place to always be. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, and so let's see, was that the year? No, that was the year before I got assistant session leader. So I just got finished being bandsman of the year for the previous season. Yeah, I definitely did think. Like I've always been this kind of person. Anyway.
Hold on. Can we talk about being bandsman of the year at North Carolina A&T?
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, keep going. Shit.
But yeah, so very well-developed trumpet player. I think when we started the concert band season, I might have been 5th, maybe 6th chair. But there were exercises that you would pretty much do, and then you audition to be 1st chair. And so I kept moving up week by week, practicing at least 30 minutes every single day, just so I can be 1st chair, because somebody else that was 1st chair I've been trying to talk to for a while. And I had to make sure I proved myself, because her whole family's in marching band. Her dad was a drum major at A&T, currently just retired from being a band director in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Mom was in the band, sister in the band, the whole.
Oh yeah. So you gotta come correct. Like you can't be 6th chair, 5th chair.
If I'm keeping track, there's the girlfriend, and then there's the 1st chair that you want. And we're not at the flute yet. I just want to make sure about that. Go ahead.
So the girl that I want, Kayla, is 1st chair.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the pursuit.
That's the pursuit.
And just to be clear, y'all, it's not that he wants to be a better trumpet player. There's a method to his madness. Keep going. All right.
Definitely. But we had already been talking for a little while, on and off. But once you discover that I had a girlfriend, it's like, oh no, we can't really talk anymore. So it took a while. Then it wasn't too just random summer day. I get a random text like, hey, what you doing right now? I'm up here in my boss's car driving all the way to Walmart. I'll pull right over. Hey, I can call you right now. Pick up the phone.
I ain't doing nothing.
This job.
Pick up the phone. Hey, how you doing? We start talking, going a couple of days. I break up with my old girlfriend, and then start. And then start dating Kayla, and the rest is pretty much history.
What's the Harlem Night guy? And she's like, yo, it's yeah. So you break up with the girl, and now you ain't Caleb. So what's like the first date?
Oh, the first date? Oh, it was, man. Well, it's the actual first date. I'm saying what the actual first date was. I planned the whole entire day just because I wanted to spend the whole day with her. We went to the movies. I ain't have no money or no car, so we had what's that place with the steak burgers?
Cookout?
Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake.
Oh.
Right. We went to Steak and Shake. We went to Celebration Station in Greensboro, so a nice little arcade date. Came back to my room, and we danced to this music for the rest of the night.
Wow.
You're a man of purpose and vision, Frank.
And chivalry. Because all y'all did was dance in that room.
That's all we
That's
did.
it.
Dance.
Oh, man, listen, I got you.
Hey man, I ain't never been friends with Casanova.
Me and Romeo
Ain't never been friends.
Frank has no idea what's up. Okay.
I know that part.
His dad's a DJ. Come on, don't do that to him.
All
Do
right,
a little
all
bit of something. So that's amazing. That's a great story, because you are all in a field or in a creative craft that puts you all close together. But your pursuit for someone that you really care about and thought about pushed your skill of trumpet playing to another level.
Oh, yeah.
Like, And I know you're aware of it, but I don't think you cared. Like, I just gotta get first chair. And all these other dudes are like, I gotta get first chair because I want to do this. I want to do this. It's like, hey, first food is fine as fuck. And I know her family lineage, so I'm trying to get to that first chair. How long? Well, you said week by week, so would it take you like a month, maybe?
Yeah, it took about a month to get first chair.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's another flex. I played trumpet in high school. I never got first chair. And it wasn't because I didn't try. That's just hard. It's not easy to do. So you just did it like I'm gonna just do this real quick and get this first chair. Other dudes are at home studying, practicing 9 hours a day. Frank took 30 minutes to be like, all right, that's done. That's done. And I'm already planning the first date. That's crazy.
So would you liken yourself to Nick Cannon from Drumline or not?
No, why?
Because we have to go off topic.
Poets off topic.
I'm not a huge fan of
I'm just
drummers. But if you had to make a comparison, then
I'm just
kind of.
I thought you were going in a whole different direction because you started it with Nick Cannon. Would you liken yourself to Nick Cannon? And you have 13 babies with 12 baby mamas.
Did she notice your rise to first chair? Like,
Oh yeah.
I see this young brother over there who went from 5 to 4, 4 to 3. Ooh, Frank, you too. And then all of a sudden, did you go up and be like, when I hit number 1, you're going to be mine? Did you tell her that?
Well, I couldn't tell her that because I had somebody else.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I had to keep the language very specific. So say, hey, watch me reach this chair. Cool, bet.
And I think that's such a great segue into what you're doing now.
Mhm.
And I want to slip back just a half a second because you are like the only other poet creative I know with like a real job. So, because of course, Cookie is also an engineer for the state.
Aggie Pride.
Oh, that's what y'all do. I forgot about it. Shout out Ron McNair. Okay, so as an engineer, like, what is your engineering degree in? What is that?
Applied Engineering Technology.
Applied. What does that do? What does that person do?
Basically, it makes you a manufacturing engineer.
Mhm.
So it teaches you the process in making stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it be plastics, work with metals, gives you just a skill set to set up an assembly line and make a finished product.
Bet. So you take that sense of learnedness, discipline, because you can't just, fuck around and get an applied engineering degree. You really got to work at it.
Yeah.
You take all of that and apply it to your creative situation. And here we are with Frank Expressions doing many a thing in the city, many a thing.
Yeah.
But they are all very choreographed, very thought out, very planned. When you got to Charlotte and you were in your creative mode, did coming to Charlotte a job thing, or be like, I also want to feel like this is where I can get my creativeness going? Like, because I'm pretty sure engineering wise, this could not be the first place that you looked at.
No, this was pretty much the place. We were also considering Atlanta. My wife is an actress, so like both of us being creators, having like full-time jobs. Like, okay, what's the best place that works for us?
And what does she do?
She's a medical scribe.
Damn, of course, smart fucking people.
Yeah.
And then just good at the other creative shit. Turn the show off, man. It's not fair. All right, keep going.
But yeah, we just felt like this was a great place to like just be able to grow. I had already been in Baltimore for probably a couple years, already learned the whole poetry game, been working with the poetry party for a number of different years. So I knew how to run an event. I was well established in just being an engineer, but I didn't yet have a job here, but it was COVID. So I was working from home majority of the time. So I just moved anyway.
Right. Home was going to be wherever I was. All right,
What you gonna do?
Well, they definitely did. It was like, oh, we need everybody back in the office 2-3 days a week. So that's when car was breaking down. But I was going back and forth every single week. For
Oh, wait, you were driving from Charlotte back to Baltimore?
To go into the office?
Yeah.
When you said that earlier, I thought it was just like because you were from Baltimore and like, nah, he was going to work. Going to work.
Because what's going to pay for all this creative stuff before the creative stuff actually kicks in is going to be a full-time job. And so,
because for those that are uninitiated with Charlotte is more of a financial town than like an engineering type town. So like when I think engineering and stuff like that, I think more of Raleigh.
Raleigh,
Charlotte.
I even think more Texas. Like,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It is a rising tech city, though. Like for IT, it is a very, very rising tech city. But yeah.
So the poetry party, I think that's the first thing I remember you really curating and coming up with. And it hit strong when you first came down and hit strong. And from that, what did you learn? And then what did you want to do? What did you want to do?
I learned that there was also a need for more poetry platforms here in Charlotte. There was already plenty of well-established ones, but they had always been like years old. You know, it was, time for something new. My wife sat me down like, hey, you need your own thing. I know you like the poetry party, but you need your own thing.
Smart woman.
Definitely. So once I finally got a job down here, I was like officially not driving back and forth. That's when I started writing about poetry.
Nice. And what was the conversation with the venue? Because I think that's one thing a lot of people won't glean from seeing what any of us do is the conversation to even get poetry in their doors. Because it sounds good up here, and we can explain it all day, but to the business owner, like, you're gonna do what now? On my Saturday, on my Sunday? Nah. Bring me somebody with an acoustic guitar, and I'll take that as well. Like, and that's what they do. So, as a new-ish, promoter person in the city, what is that conversation like for that venue?
With that venue in particular, it was a little easier just because they already had a process on their website. Like, hey, I think at the time was like $40 an hour.
What?
Yeah, it was extremely cheap. It looked absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Went to another creative event there. Shout out to Altrell. Just performing. I'm like, oh, this place is great. I would love to have something here. So I reached out to the venue owners like, hey, yeah, this is our price. And then once I actually started having one about poetry there, I didn't have the backing to be as consistent as I want to be. So it was like, every 2 months, every other month, or whatever. But then there started to be a need for me to have something more sustainable. But yet the event still wasn't making enough money for the venue. So that's when the conversation became like, hey, we can charge you a flat rate, like $500 for your event, and then you're good. And so that's what we've been rocking with a couple of years. So that conversation with the venue is just very important because essentially you guys are partners.
Right.
And they're not open Mondays and Sundays. So it's perfect to have something on Sunday, especially if there's not too many other creative events going on at the same time.
Right. I love that. Y'all look like you want to say something.
I mean, I'm just thinking how important this conversation is because very often when poets have the idea that they want to do something, they don't know the mechanics of how it works.
Right.
And very often we don't tell each other.
They don't know the applied engineering of it. I see what I did there.
Like the idea that the conversation pivoted from this small amount to like, all right, it's going to be $500. To the person starting out, that sounds like, oh my God, that's $500.
Right.
But for the person who's entrepreneur minded and who's into it, they're like, all right, well, $500 means I need to do this, I need to charge this, I need to have this many people coming in, right? And this is the kind of mindset that you have to have if you're going to be successful running events.
Yeah, right. Definitely. And it's also important to like have that backing because I didn't like just up and like, oh, now we're gonna do it every single month. Like, no, my wife told me, Nathan Antoine told me, he was like, hey, you need to have this every single month because this is your most successful event. Keep it going. I'll help you where need be. And like having that back, like, okay, I'm safe enough to keep this going every single month.
Yeah.
I might have missed a gem or two, but another gem is consistency. So like in order to grow, you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
In your vision, in your application, in
your rise to first chair.
Your rise
every day, 30 minutes, it works.
Consistent.
For all the creatives that might be listening, like be determined, be consistent, right?
Right. Let's go. Jay Ward's
over here with like a proud dad. Like, this motherfucker's finally getting it.
Oh, man.
Usually, Frank, by this point, I'm no good. I'm the comedic relief.
Yeah. We're all doing well.
Well,
Like,
We're all doing
like,
well.
yo, maybe we need to do Uncle Nearest more often.
Hey, Uncle Nearest, folks,
we would,
PR folks, whoever
we would do this whole podcast. Uncle Nearest
presents.
Oh,
Facts.
Yeah.
Especially now that you all are starting to do your own liquor and not sourcing it from somebody else.
Jamal knows all the backdoor secrets of the industry.
That's a whole different conversation. Oh my God.
It's really good though.
Yeah, it is. It is extremely good. So you're doing wine about now, but you're like
Poetry.
wine about poetry.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about another thing. Wine about poetry, and you're like, ugh, man, how do I level this up?
Yeah.
And then so you start collabing. You start collaborating with other creators in the city and not just holding on to your own thing. Yes, that might have felt like shade. It fucking should have. You collaborate with other creatives who are doing other things that also involve poetry, but also involve other stuff. What brought you to that? Like, what was the jumping off point for that?
Oh man, we started making profit.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Profitability.
Yeah, we had a long season of profit. I'm like, oh shoot, I think it's finally working.
Mhm.
I thought I finally cracked the code. So we started booking features. We started, getting more people in. Influencers will walk in with the cameras and start promoting us on their platforms. And like, oh man, this is really. Let me make sure I capture this moment,
Right.
so that I can keep on moving forward. So I booked the venue for the rest of the year. I booked features for the rest of the year. I sent out a post to my whole entire directory, like, hey, who wants a feature? And
Yeah.
pretty much whoever asked pretty much got one. We scheduled it the whole year. But we kept being successful. I'm like, all right, cool. Now let me show people what an anniversary is supposed to be. There you go. There you got your shade.
It's such a nice shade, though. Your shade is so polite and so nice.
Polite.
Because I was definitely sitting over here thinking, like, I mean, you can't let everybody doesn't need a feature.
Yes. And my first goal last year was to find all the poets. I did that. I found as many poets as I could here in Charlotte, outside of Charlotte, and I put them on directory. And I just wanted the experience of, oh, this is how you book features, this is how you get people from out of town on stage and still, have a successful event. I was trying to learn all this process. A lot of things are trial and error. There's a lot of error. But in that consistency, I was like, man, I need a build up to our anniversary, which is like August, September wise. I want to make that event as big as possible. How do I do that? I make sure that I partner with different open mics, offering different experience every single time, because all the open mics are very different. But once I captured their audiences and combined it with mine, it's like, oh, I now have a bigger audience, email lists, new people with new experiences. Eventbrite helps a lot. And so as we did our city tour, it's going to end with our almost poetry concert / festival, which is actually a soiree.
You guys are getting game right now. Because I think the problem in a lot of cities is that the belief is that if I have an open mic and this person has an open mic, that's my competition. And because of that, I want to keep my little, thing quarantined right here. I want their thing to be quarantined. But what you're hearing right now is the advantage is if I can get both of them together, I get more fans. I get more audience. This person also gets more audience. And that's okay. We can both live. We can both eat. But for me to survive, like I need the exposure of all these other audiences as well. Right?
Yeah.
There's enough for all of us. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But yeah, that's what they're saying. It's enough for all of us.
Yeah.
If you're not
I mean, if you just do simple numbers, if you live in a city with 10,000 people and your venue only holds 100 people, you're gonna get the numbers, bro. Relax. Right? Relax. What you have to do is make sure you're putting on an amazing show, presenting the best product that you have. That way people will want to show up and come to do and come to be a part of your event. Because you could have the best spot in the world, all the lights, all the flash, But if the show is trash, people gonna be like, yo, the drinks are great, but I don't know who the fuck was on stage. That was trash. So you've been able to not only collab with some of the best people putting on the greatest shows, but actually bringing in exceptional talent to that. Is there a secret to that sauce, or you just, niggas fuck with you, so they come through?
A little bit of both. Just because people are now still reaching out, like, hey, I'm looking for a feature opportunity. Now that I've run about 3 platforms now, I have the bandwidth to give different people features. Just make sure that there's a great show. But I feel like with a show, there's a certain formula. Especially when it comes to open mic, and you don't know exactly who you're getting. If you're seeing somebody that you don't know, and you don't know how they're going to perform, you put somebody good before them and after them. You kind of mix it up. And so if they are good or even great, you have a great show. You're elevated. If they're not so good, it's like, oh, hey, let me talk to you. Like, hey, love what you do. Here's how you can get better. You offer up that advice, because it's not just
Shout out to JC.
hey,
Shout out to JC.
JC will pull you to the side. But, hey, man, this is what you need to do.
Oh,
I've been there.
And frankly, you were probably like a smoother talker. JC will give it to you blunt. Hey, man, that shit was terrible.
That military.
This is what you need to do.
Yeah. You be like, that's poem? No, you need to cut that.
Cut that.
But yeah, it's definitely a benefit to just be able to have a successful show that's continuous in the city. Fortunate enough for it to not be my only show, to like just offer other things to other people, and like, yeah, people fuck with it, which is great. They come and have a great time.
Okay, hard question. Best show, worst show.
Like ever or this year? I'd rather do this year.
I do this year. I feel like ever might have a lot of answers to it. Let's do this year.
Trauma associated with
Yeah,
it.
right.
This year, let's see, had to be, was it May? Ticket sales just weren't there. We didn't make profit that show. Artists didn't sign up to like right before the show, and it's like,
that is a Charlotte thing.
That's
a Charlotte thing.
So we were back to probably some of our original numbers with 20 people in a room, but still having to give a great show. I ended up performing probably 2-3 times, just because the artists weren't there. They were good. It's just it didn't have that energy.
I hate when I have to perform.
Yep.
Like when I want to, that's cool. But when I gotta get out here and feel. I gotta feel.
It's nobody here.
There's nobody here. I got a fucking song and dance right now. All right, everybody, put these white gloves on. Get ready. Anyway, so but
they feel the energy. You feel the energy. But you gotta pretend like that's not the energy.
Yeah.
That part.
Everybody just gotta get in here and fake it. Be like, we got 30 more minutes. Let's just get through it.
Let's go.
Right, so the best show.
Best show? Oh man. Be Poetic featured that show. It was packed. We made almost $1,500 profit. The room was bursting at the seams. Be Poetic killed it. A whole bunch of just Sulinet showed up. Lyrics showed up. Soup showed up. Abs out by for a while. Like the room was just packed with energy, and like everybody felt so, oh, this is it. Like this is where we should be. It's like, yeah, this is it. This is where you should be. It's exactly what I told you guys it was going to be, but now you actually see it.
Right.
I just want, like, as far as game, most people don't talk real numbers. Like the fact that you're hearing real numbers right here is putting you on game. So it's $500 for the space. $1,500 profit. It means $2,000 at the door. That means you sold $210 tickets or $120 tickets. But either way, the profit, you see what I'm saying? Like there's intention there. And the intention is I'm going to put on a great show, and the great show is going to bring profit. We don't talk numbers enough with folks. I appreciate you talking numbers because like that's the things that we need to hear.
Because I was definitely going to be like, hey, you don't have to give us numbers.
You don't have to give us numbers, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like there's a certain realism, like when people actually hear the numbers, and like it's like, oh, I've had nights in which I made $200, but still that $500 was due. but that's why I got the full-time job that still pays for, a majority of things.
Facts.
But like once I started like getting more and more, I was able to add more to the show. We now have wine lessons at the show. We have a custom charcuterie board cart at the show, and so like people are getting a full experience.
Yeah, that's an
Tickets
experience.
aren't $10, and
Yeah, I was just doing math. I was just doing math for the average person. I wasn't doing it based on knowledge of what you actually do.
Yo, shit, you already know. They're finna call Frank up. Hey, man, how to get them $10 tickets? Be like, hey, cuz
you get that
don't.
early bird, and they might be $12.
Right,
That's
right,
about
right.
it.
Oh,
But
yeah, I want to. Oh, go ahead.
high cost, high risk, high value event is definitely going to make an impact on not only like your guests, but actually the artists that come through and see like, oh, this is what you're doing. And so even when they have to pay at the door, it's like, oh, this is what I'm paying for? Shoot. I've had people tell me, oh, I would pay more for this. Like, I might raise a price or two, but thank you.
Yeah. I just want to officially
Tariffs and inflation.
tariffs. I want to officially say, looking at what you do, you are definitely providing opportunity and resource to folks. Resource on you had a whole initiative that gave people headshots and branding opportunities and really time to learn about themselves as an artist. Right now, Blues and I had the privilege of judging for Poetry in Motion last week, which is a monthly series that you're doing through July that gives people a chance to work on 10-minute poetry sets. I think some of these are folks that have never done a feature set before.
Oh, yeah.
So they have to figure out consciously how to do a 10-minute set. And it is a slam version of that where a winner is picked of who did the best 10-minute set. And I think everybody wins. Because if you've never done a 10-minute set before and you get up there and do a 10-minute set, you're seeing 4 other poets also do a 10-minute set. And you're like, when you don't win, you're like, I know why I didn't win, because that other poet, they maxed that 10-minute set was phenomenal. I need to go back and rework what I'm doing. I need to, do all these other things. But then each winner now has a chance in July to come back and be a grand winner. And then all those finalists become a feature at one of your events. This is something that is rolling and making the community better. So I just want to acknowledge that as somebody that's just looking at the city and saying, yeah, Frank's doing great things for the city.
Thank you.
But I also want to ask, so you came in from Baltimore, but although you have the North Carolina connection of A&T, where you come into Charlotte as a Baltimore poet, what's some tips if a poet is getting newly established in the city? And I'm not even talking about a poet that wants to do events. I'm just saying, I'm from the city. I'm moving into Charlotte because it's a tech or a banking industry, and I'm here in Charlotte. And my perception is, ain't nothing going on in Charlotte. But I get here and oh, they got stuff. But now I'm intimidated. Now I'm scared. I don't know. How do you establish yourself as a poet in a new city?
Oh man. Just in general, go to open mics. First and foremost, go to networking events where you can meet other creatives outside of just the poets, because they're also going to give you opportunities outside of just being a feature poet at an open mic. That's one avenue, but there are so many other avenues with just being a poet. You can do more than just features. Either way, if you come to Charlotte, just find me.
That's number one thing. Come to Charlotte. Find Frank.
But yeah, just go to open mics. Eventbrite is a wonderful resource to see what else is going on in the city. Don't be afraid to go to maybe a hip hop event and doing a poem, even though that comparison between rap and poetry can be a thin line. Build up the confidence in yourself to be able to get on stage, perform your piece, sit down, because there's going to be somebody who's like, man, I needed that today. And that's just very important. Next, just go ahead and do the business side. Get your website. Make sure that you have your electronic press kit. If you don't know what that is, TikTok is also a wonderful resource, or talk to Frank Expression. But those are all just great resources to just get you started. Getting to know not only promoters, but also the people that actually run the open mics is just very helpful, because once they see the work that you're putting in, whether you're best in the city or just looking to grow, they might throw you into the show for free, give you a feature, just keep on working at your craft, and then get to know what actually poetry is, because for a long time I thought I knew. But then I really found out between the metaphors, similes, the history behind it. Oh, shoot. Very important. Get to know the history of the city. Because moving here to Charlotte and having just experiencing the richness that your history is, I was like, oh, I can't just do regular stuff here. You know, I felt like just an average black kid, like, hey, you got to be twice as good to be half as much, like, because all the poets are super dope. I was like, oh, and you guys got OGs that are also very dope. It's like, I gotta actually come with it. It was I didn't just pop up here and like, oh, Frank's it. Like, no, I had to earn every single ticket sale, every single feature, every single relationship, friendship, competitors, which you gotta have competitors. You can be friends, but also be competitors. But yeah, just all those things.
Can I? Everything you just said was great. Everything you just said was like gems. Pow, pow, pow. The one thing I couldn't stop focusing on, and I apologize, like my mind wandered as soon as you said, it's TikTokable or whatever you said. I'm like, is that the new thing? Like, it's no longer Googleable. Like now, it's not Google. You can find whatever you want on TikTok. Is that the age that we're at, Blues? Are we beyond the Googleable age? It's like if you want to know more about any topic, like TikTok, motherfucker.
It depends on the audience you want to reach. So for me, I don't use TikTok as much, and I should. Like I should be using a whole lot more. But my Instagram is still just as fine. Like because that's what I know how to use. But yeah, TikTokable, both of those things. Google is just your Encyclopedia Britannica now. That's all. That's basically what it is now. Like you are strictly there for the information, unless you're like someone says Google that shit. Like that's the only reason. But if you're looking for like what a Frank does or who these people are, you immediately go to TikTok or Instagram to see what the engagement is like because they're going to post their most creative stuff there, right? That's where the commercial lives. That's where their EPK of sorts lives in those realms. And then for Instagram, it is more us, right? But for TikTok, it is that younger generation. So if you can see what is trending and you want to get in that wave, look at what they're looking at. Like, look at what's the hot thing. At our age, you're probably going to be like, I don't want to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good where I'm at.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Well, because you know what your demographic is, right? I'm doing poems, and I don't want to say this and dishearten my younger viewers. I not really gearing to try to nab the 16, 15-year-old in my work.
Yeah, but
right.
You're dope. So they
if they discover me that way, then it's cool. Like if my daughter's run up on some of my stuff, she's 16. I'm like, okay, cool. That wasn't for you. But what I am shooting for is probably that 25 to 40-year-old where my work resonates, but also where they're career minded. They're in a position to they can have the resources to kind of, help me attach to things. So TikTokable, yeah.
As soon as Trump is out of office and TikTok is a thing again, I'm gonna get back on
it's
TikTok.
Still a thing.
Yeah, but I can't get it.
Why can't you get it?
It's grandfathered, right?
No,
They fixed that.
They fixed that? Because
nigga, you are old as fuck right now.
Yeah. But guess what?
Oh, God damn it,
guess what? But guess what? I edit the podcast.
So you'll never know what happened. I'm going to fuck up the edit. Jay Ward didn't know he could get TikTok. Jay Ward didn't know he could get TikTok.
Oh, gosh. All right, so Frank. We are winding down. We're winding down. So tell the people where, like, what you got going on, where they can find you, where they can follow you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I have a lot going on. You can find Wine About Poetry every single month, most likely the first Sunday every month here in Charlotte at the Alder Pour. You can find the Poetry and Motion competition every single month. I know we said, finale's in July, but it's a season 2. So that's coming back. A poet, if you're looking for at least one of your poems being free and given to you, that's a platform to be on. And we also have a new platform called For Poetry. It's a monthly series that's going to end up being a showcase every single quarter, and if you want to be on that platform, not only poet, do you get your footage, you get to do one poem, and you get an interview question. So you get more than just a poem as your...
It's a...
Yes.
It's a resume builder. That's a resume builder.
So you get that interview question, you get to tell the audience more about yourself. Yeah, it's an amazing platform to be about. You can find me at Frank_Expression on Instagram or www. Do people still do that anyway?
Yeah, sure.
FrankExpression.co. That's FrankExpression.co.
Nice.
Right.
Second question. Are you ready to freestyle?
Am I ready? I didn't know that was part of that.
This is how we find out if people have actually watched the show.
Yep. This is exactly how we found it out.
But
I've
it's
seen
good.
clips.
It's good when they don't watch the show because of this moment right here.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
All
All right. Well, this is how it works. We have a
Beat.
Okay.
Everybody here freestyle. It'll start with blues.
I'll be okay.
Okay. No, first of all, Blues is gonna set it on fire,
Yeah.
but we don't want you to feel intimidated.
So after blues, he'll pass it to Jay Ward.
I get cut off most of the time. I can't tell you why, bro. It's just some political shit. But I get cut off.
Yeah.
Because he's light skinned.
He's light skinned. After Jay Ward, you'll go.
No pressure.
And then after you go, I'll
Got the
finish it
home
off.
run hitter to anchor.
Yeah.
Okay.
If Jamal went first, you'd feel intimidated. But we got that taken care of.
Oh, great. I feel like the Luke was a trap now.
Yeah. Well, you feel right.
Yeah. It is definitely like the liquid courage that you're going to need. Well, we all needed it. But
So today's beat, I made it,
All right, let's go.
but I made it a long time ago.
All right, Mall Cheese, circa 1993.
Not that long ago.
that's high school mulchi, ain't it?
No, I was not in high school in 1993.
What were you in high school?
I started high school in 1997.
Oh, shit. Am I old?
Yes. Yes, you are.
That's all right.
I
still thought Frank was fucking 20 years old in 2004.
Not even close.
Okay, so,
Run it.
Yeah. Good luck.
You always say good luck, and then the beat turns out to be fucking fire.
Right.
No.
This one's not gonna be fire.
All right.
That sounded like some early Tyler.
Sound like Crystal Waters.
I got Crystal Waters in my head right now.
Is that you playing piano?
Oh, it's our arpeggios.
This is the fuck out of me.
Right. That's a big word, Blues.
Here we go on the arpeggios. That's a big word I didn't know. I got a flow. It's illa to the rilla. Guarantee, yo, I'm the 100 gorillas fighting one man who can't take a stand. Shit, I stand for any man. Oh shit, if you on that bullshit, get out and fuck around my freestyle. Yo, be out like yo, got an ill flow. Up and down goes the rope your boat. Oh, that's elementary. Don't know it rhymes with elementary, but see, I guarantee I got a flow that's so goddamn free. Go, yo, I'm about to pass it off. Jay Ward, guaranteed, about to blast it out. But let's go.
Ooh, if you want to get high, you get the deck, yeah. And if you want the poetry, you get Frank, yeah. And if you want to get the bodies all stuffed up in the tank, then what you got to know now is that I got the motherfucking shake. And after that, I'm gonna let your body rock.
Okay. Right. He's immediately went to violence.
Oh, that's what you mean.
That's what we mean.
It never fails.
It never fails, Frank. It immediately.
See how they cut me off? They stopped my shine. They stopped my
It
shine.
never
That's
fails.
the way you do the order. Cool.
Yeah.
I was just about to rhyme Shaw Shake. See that?
Yeah. We usually get you before you escape there. Andy Dufresne.
All right, Frank. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Frank was like, yeah, I can do that.
People usually wait for the beat drop.
There's no beat drop.
So tell me what you know about hope. Tell me you know about dope. Coke. Folk. I heard somebody say something about shank. I heard that was also dank. What you think? Wank.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, listen.
Hey,
That is way better than a lot of people. Some people get up and be like, I'm not doing anything.
Thanks.
first of all, I love the poetic leap from thank to wank.
Right. He included some dank in there. I was like, smoking dank in this dungeon. Good. Let's get to it. All right, Marchi, what's happening? What you doing?
You know what it is. We got this going.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's the truth.
Truth.
And I'll be flowing.
All right, come on.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, turn my mic up.
turn that fucking shit up.
Got the arpeggios flowing. I don't know. Yeah. Got water on the ad libs. But anyway. You're not getting no bars from me today. Shout out to all our listeners across the world.
Where they at?
They're in the United States
All right, what's going on, US?
of America.
Okay.
Shout out to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Shout out to Germany.
Okay.
All right.
Shout out to Canada
Hey.
and Atlanta.
Hey.
Shout out to Australia.
G'day.
Shout out to Ireland.
All right.
Shout out to Malaysia.
Malaysia in the building.
Shout out to Russia.
Yeah.
Shout out to the UK.
Okay.
Shout out to Brazil. Shout out to Sweden.
Sweden.
Hey.
Shout out to Spain.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Hola.
Shout out to Carter.
Hey.
Qatar.
Or Qatar. I've heard it. You know what? I've heard it pronounced Qatar, Qatar.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. But
Shout
I've
out
never
to
heard
Carter
Carter though. I've
5.
never heard Carter 5 though.
Yeah, Carter 7. Shout out to Slovenia.
Slovenia.
Shout out to France.
Yeah.
Oh, bonjour.
We're still holding on to the Ukraine.
Come on, Ukraine.
Let's go.
Shout out to Mexico.
Hola.
Shout out to South Africa with their apartheid ass.
Yambo.
They're refugee ass.
The refugee ass.
Oh yeah, they're refugees now. Shout out to Bulgaria, Singapore.
Why did your voice go down?
Shout out to Hungary.
Bulgaria.
Shout out to Iran,
Okay.
Kenya, Senegal, the Czech Republic.
All of
New
these
Zealand.
people got put on a ban from America.
Right.
Shout out to being banned from America. Latvia, Morocco, Belgium,
Hey.
Switzerland,
Okay.
Ghana,
Hey.
Macedonia,
Hey. Let's
go.
India,
Hey.
Finland,
Hey.
Austria,
Hey.
Japan,
Yeah.
Israel,
Yeah.
Estonia,
Hey.
Jersey,
Hey.
Taiwan.
You say Jersey?
Did you say New Jersey?
No, not New Jersey.
Jersey.
Just Jersey.
Jersey.
Shout out to the Netherlands.
international. Brunswick, New Jersey.
Shout out to Croatia.
All right.
Bangladesh. Pakistan.
Yeah.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
St. Vincent.
Yeah.
St. Kitts.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
These are new.
We ain't had St. Kitts before. We ain't had St. Kitts before.
We
Or
got
St.
Saints in the building.
Vincent. Or Jamaica.
That's what I'm talking about. We need to get a
Anyway.
carnival episode going.
Wait a minute, Ward. What'd you say?
I said a cruise on Carnival Cruise Line.
Oh, you said it in
Not what he meant.
the thick ass Jamaican accent. Shout out to all my Jamaican. Like, all right, settle down, bro. How much nearest did you have?
Well,
Thank you so much to all our listeners
We
and
appreciate
viewers.
y'all.
In the words of
All of
Bonnie Jones, give us 5 stars, because if you give us 4 stars,
What's that?
we're inclined to believe that you're a hater.
Hater ass.
Hey, click like, click, not
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
still like.
Like, subscribe, share,
Comment.
and we'll be back with another Poet Up podcast soon.
Shout out to French Expression.
Thank you. Shout out to you guys. This was cool.
Y'all. Wow.